Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe. And on this channel sikhuluma ama-reality TV shows, ama-celebrities kanye nama-YouTubers. Listen, you guys, I've said this on some of my videos that if you stay in a toxic relationship, you become toxic yourself, you know? And I feel like the only people that can manage to stay in toxic relationships are people that have toxic in them. You know, you have to be toxic to be able to manage being in a toxic relationships, because people that are not toxic are not able to stay in a relationship that is toxic. I feel like, you know, there's nothing called, like, you know, a person will say, I was in a toxic relationship, my partner was so toxic. No, if you stayed for a certain period in that relationship and there were moments where you felt happy and there were moments when you didn't feel happy, but for some reason you stayed in that relationship knowing that it was toxic, you were part of it. You know, you were part of it. I mean, you can argue the percentage of toxicity. You know, maybe you were 50%, he was 50%, maybe you were 20% and she was, 80%. But you have toxicity in you if you are able to stay long in a toxic relationship, because people that are not toxic cannot stay in toxic relationships. Sometimes you can get in a toxic relationship not being toxic, and you become toxic while in that relationship, because in order for you to be able to stay in that relationship, you have to be toxic. So even if you were not toxic before you got into the relationship, you can become toxic in the relationship. And if you prolong, your stay in a relationship, then you become toxic. And it's something that you have to accept. If you have a past relationship where you feel like that was a toxic relationship, there is a toxic part of you that made you stay in that relationship. And I feel like, you guys, honestly, this is the situation here with Usim's right and her husband, because from both sides, you guys, there are things that happened in that relationship that shows us from what has been shared, because I do believe, you guys, that they have not shared everything. I do believe that from what has been shared, this was a very toxic relationship. Okay, I feel like what is happening now in their relationship is not something new. What they're going through now is not something new. The only element that is different this time with this relationship is the fact that now the public is involved. Now we know about it and we are having opinions on it, we are having inputs, and we are questioning things, you know. Whereas before they will be going through whatever it is that they'll be going through, and then only people that are closer to them will know, and it will be easy for them to make up and go back to that toxic environment that they were comfortable in, which is their relationship. I feel like there was a big part of there was a chance actually that they could have still got back together had it not been for us, knowing what's happening with their relationship. Because, you guys, listen, if you are paying attention to what is happening or what they are sharing about their relationship, this was a relationship where it wasn't like constant, where they just live together happy and they will have a fight here and there. It looks like it was that relationship where they will have big fights, and then the person is being chased out of the house, or the person walks out, and then they come back, and then they break up, and then they come back, and then the person cheats, and then the other, there's GBV, and then this, and then they think they're breaking up, and then they come back together. From the comments that Sim's husband or ex-husband has been putting on other people's videos here on YouTube, he talks about how in March he kicked Sims out of the house. I'm sure Sims has a different story about what happened in March, but according to him, kicked her out in March. Maybe if Sims had to tell that story, she would say, I decided to leave because I had it. Because that story is going to be different if it's being told by Sims. But from him, he says he kicked her out because she was cheating in March. Okay. But this photo right here, you guys, was posted in April, because In April, they were in Durban. They went to Durban together. And then if you are somebody that follows Sims, you would know that there was a time where she shared things that indicated that she was in Durban. Okay. So they were in Durban together, you guys. They look like they're on a holiday. Photos, they're holding hands, they are swimming, they're doing different activities. They're at Shaga Marine. And unless these are photos that were taken another time, but they were only posted in April, it looks like, you guys, they were in Durban in April this year. After he had kicked her out of his house, he says that it's his house. I actually had a my dear moment there when he wrote, I kicked her out of my house. I'm like, how you gonna kick a woman out of her own house? You know how my dear says that? Because listen, if you married, that's her house too. So he says that he kicked her out in March, but then in April they're on a holiday together. So you see the kind of a relationship that these people had. You know, you kick me out this month I'm back in the house, then we go on a holiday, then we come back, then I cheat, and then we fight, and then maybe you hit me, maybe, and then, you know, I don't want to make light of a situation, but it looks like that's how their relationship was like from what they are sharing. Of course, the GBV stuff, you guys, is scary. What the video, you can go on Sim's Instagram right now on her post. She did post a video as evident, because I guess she's feeling the pressure and she's feeling like people don't believe her because people are questioning the photos that she posted. Okay. And the thing about it, you guys, is that people are not wrong by questioning things, because if you posted photos and you said that those photos were from you being in a car accident, and then later on you change and you say those photos are from you being in a GBV situation with your husband, people have a right to question which story is true. You even sat down with Ndibuti and did a story time. So which one should we believe right now? Because you are saying now that it was from a different situation. So we have a right. And I think in general, you guys, people do believe Sims, and even YouTubers have said they do believe Sims. But in terms of the receipts that she's providing, it wasn't making sense because we had seen those photos before, and the story that was told behind what the photos were for was different. So if we question now why the story is changing, I think this really is a legit concern from people. But I think generally people believe that GBV did take place in their relationship, just like we believe that there was cheating in their relationship. I do feel like, you guys, when it comes to these two at this point, nobody wants to take accountability. Nobody wants to take accountability. I feel like we're at a place where he is saying that his wife is a cheater and has been a cheater throughout their relationship. And then Sims, on the other hand, is saying that, her husband has been abusive and he has been like that throughout their relationship, but nobody is taking any accountability for anything. It's like they want to be right, and it's like, as outsiders, we know they are right. They are right in a sense that Sims is right that his husband did what he did, and her husband is right to say that Sims did what she did. But then where is it going to end? It's like the person wants to reveal more and more about the other person, more and more and more about the other person. When is it going to end? Because at the end of the day, if you are in a relationship and there's the two of you in the relationship, and it ends, or it goes bad, it's never one person's fault. No matter how much you want it to be one person's fault, it is never one person's fault. At best, your fault is staying in that relationship after you saw that it wasn't a relationship for you to stay in, and you stayed. There is something that you can take accountability for. you know when are they going to stop throwing stones? Because they were not perfect in that relationship. Even as an outsider, I can see that both of them were not perfect in that relationship. But somebody at some point, or both, have to take accountability and say, listen, these are the things that I did wrong in this relationship. I shouldn't have done this and this and this. And now I accept that this is the end of the relationship. I'm throwing my hands now and I'm moving forward with my life. If somebody has said that there was GBV in a relationship, it doesn't matter how many photos they post and how many videos they post. We already believe that there was, but what are you going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, when it was happening, you stayed. You had an option to leave. You also had an option to go and report it. You didn't. So right now, what are you going to do about it? And what accountability are you gonna take about it? Okay, what did you do wrong in that relationship now that you can take accountability for? The husband too, okay? Because I do feel like he doesn't take the GBV issues as serious as he should. He talks about it like he is talking about drinking a cup of tea. I feel like he has to take accountability for that, you guys. Listen, Sims and Sizwe, we get it, okay? Sizwe, we get that you were, abusive in your relationship. Sims, we know that you were cheating in your relationship. Sesizwile-ke, what are you guys going to do for yourself to move forward? Okay, it's not like if tomorrow something else comes up, it's going to be make the situation worse than it is. This is the worst situation that you can have in a relationship when it's ending, especially a situation where there is children involved. You guys, if for nothing else, do it for your children. Take some accountability and just say, listen, I throw my hands right now. I wasn't perfect in this relationship. This is what I did wrong. Instead of trying to throw things at the other person and throwing the things that the other person did, because it is clear right now that none of you were perfect in this relationship, and it's clear that right now none of you want this relationship, unless of course you want this relationship. Because even if you do, then because it looks like both of you need help. I think that two Sims needs help. If she stayed that long in that relationship with a GPV like that, if she stayed, I do feel like she needs help. And also, if she was a serial cheater in her relationship, like the husband says, then she does need help. And also, the husband needs help if really he was what Sim said that he was in terms of GBV. If he did do what he's being accused of, there is a video now on Instagram that shows what looks like him trying to push the door to get into the room where Sims is. So both these people need help. Then if they do still want this relationship, then they just need to say, because it wouldn't be something new, you guys, for them to say we still want to be in a relationship, even though we know very well that it's toxic, because they've done it before. The only difference now is that we will know about it. They've done it before. They've pretended as if nothing is going on that is wrong in the relationship and got back together and acted like they were happy when they were going through these ups and downs. This is just the down that they've gone through before. It's just that now it's public. So they constantly have to prove to us that they are right. When in actual fact, it doesn't matter to us. It matters to them what happens. It matters for their children how they wrap this up. I really feel like it's time that they do, you guys. I feel like it's time they wrap it up. They can go their separate ways, they can come back together, whatever it is that they want to do. But now it's like it's enough. you know it's enough. You're not going to convince us more that you're not suitable for each other. You're not going to convince us more that you were not perfect in your relationship. We know both of you were not perfect in that relationship. We get it. Now it's time to just wrap it up and move on with your life, just for your children. You guys, it's for your children now. It's enough. Like, even I'm tired of hearing about these things, and I'm not even in the relationship. And I do feel like, instead of Sims trying to convince us as the viewers that her husband did do that to her, we're not caught, and we're not the justice system, so we're not going to be fair in our judgment of the situation. We're going to use, we're going to be brutal. We're not going to be fair like the law would. So you can't expect that we're going to judge the situation like the justice system would judge it. So if you want that, if you want justice, then go into the, go. present the evidence to the justice system. But here on social media, and even if you have the most obvious evidence that this took place, people are still going to question it and they're going to be brutal about it. We are not the right platform basically for that. If there was GBV and there is evidence for it, just go to the police and then resolve the other things in other platforms except social media. Like, I'm tired, okay? I'm tired for them, and I guess I'm tired for their kids, because I do feel like you guys, even though they are young, they might have some information on what's happening here, and it makes me sad. Anyway, you guys, I do hope that at some point it's just going to be like the end, you know. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntanda kakhulu.